Hello everyone. Myself Gaurav Dakate and I work as an option trainer in Quantsapp. So today we are having a demo session on the concept tools, and we will look around four tools and see how we can them use in a more effective way. So before starting this demo session, I want to put a disclaimer. So we are doing looking at the tools as an educational purpose, and no trade recommendation or any sort of recommendation is provided. So this is a one particular disclaimer which I wanted to put. And the more the focus today we are having is to looking into how we can use these tools in a more effective way and in a more data driven approach. So sometimes what happens that we look into a particular script or maybe index and we think it will go and up down, and we'll just assume. But it's better to spend 2 or 3 minutes before we take any decision on any script or index. So we can see, so this is just a step of looking into uh, some data. Then we're gonna see some tools which helpful during the market, in terms of when I say that Nifty is 100 points up or Bank Nifty is 500 point up. So I want to look into that, which are those stocks which I want, which is contributing, and how much percentage change they have, and are any specific reason of that. So we're gonna figure out that as well. And we'll see a very important tool, that is volume analysis today, and which tells about the a particular reason where maximum volume has been happened. So these are the 3 and 4 points we are taking today for the demo session. And we'll just wait for like 30-40 seconds. I think more participants are on the queue, so let them join, and till the time you can explore the application as well. And if you have any particular doubt meanwhile the demo session, you can also put it on the chat box or the comment section. We're gonna take it, if it's very referable to the tool we are taking, then we're gonna take it in the middle of that, or we'll try to do question and answer session in the last. So okay, I think everyone has joined. So today we will be starting with the tool is triggers. And trigger is something what Quantsapp has tried developing it, and it's a very useful tool when it comes to do, like when I want to say which are those stocks which might have likely to have a momentum. So around, as we all know, around 159 stocks are there in the FNO. So recently 16 more stocks has been added up. So altogether 159 scripts are in the FNO. Finding out particularly 3 4 or maybe 5 6 stocks or scripts which could have a likely moment. So this is based on the options data. Now if any other news or event that occurs, that's a different thing. But if I want to see the data driven stocks which could have a likely moment, then option trigger is a tool where I go. So here you can see all the FNO stocks, and below that future prices. So in the concept, if you into any tool and you say that, let's say Aarti India, and you say that Aarti India prices in the concept is not in par with the other site prices. So there's a reason that we are quoting here the future prices, not the spot prices. First thing, always remember. So if you go and Google the Aarti India price, you might see the spot prices, which is definitely going to be going to differ from the future price. So don't get confused ever. These are the future prices of all the F&O stocks. Now, on the left side, you can see the highest call, and on the right side, you can see the highest put. So now what we have tried doing in the triggers, we are looking into a stock which is very near to their highest call and highest put. So highest call and highest put means highest call is the level where the most option writers are standing. And so if I take the calls, that means the most call writers are standing, and the highest put means the most put writers are standing. So it gives me idea that how far a stock is to the highest call and highest put. So if I say Aarti India is trading at 1256, and the highest call means the highest call writers are standing at 1300 strike, and the highest put is 1200. So it's nearly equidistant from the highest call and highest put. So I won't be interested in it until there's something other specific reasons. Now, now we have understood the symbol, the future price, and besides it, strike prices. So call strike and put strike. Now it comes the call difference and the put difference, if you can see here. So it tells the how much difference in the percentage term. So difference of highest call, that is 1300, to future price of 1256 is nearly 3.5%. And same with in the put side it is nearly 4.5%. So it gives me a rough idea that future that the call strike and the put strike, it's far away from the future price. And besides that, you can see the OI and the change in OI. Now, as I said, I will be more interested looking at the stocks which are having likely movement. So if I go and arrange this in terms of call difference. So yes. So now we can see the call difference of the stocks. So Tata Motors, the highest call is very, very far away from their future price. So looking at this stock, it's not ideal time right now, but it could be after a point. Now we'll be interested which are very near. So we'll go here, and this is the data I wanted to have. So looking into the Sun Pharma, Torrent Power, Reliance, IRCTC, then going about L&T Housing Finance, so that's a far L&T Housing Finance, DLF, Hindustan Unilever, SDFC AMC, Godrej Properties. These are some stocks which are very near to the highest point. Now, when I'm trading in options, I will be interested where I'm looking into that a stock is the highest level, I mean to say at the highest call writing level, and at that point I want to see that how the call writers are doing. So let's say Torrent Power, or let's say Reliance is a like common we all know, so it will be a good idea to take. So if I say Reliance right now future price is 12,197, and the highest strike is at 1200. So difference is nearly 3 rupees. The difference is nearly 3 rupees, and the percentage term, it is just 0.13. Very close. Now, if you can see, there's a change in OI by 12%, means open interest has declined, meaning that the call writers has declined their position at the highest call level. So I can say that there might be a possible movement that will come in the Reliance, or there's already a movement that has happened, and you can say that 12% of the open interest has declined. Now if I go and select so there's an option change. If you click on the Reliance, you can switch to the option chain or open interest or the option gain. So the ideal thing to do is going to the open interest. Now if this is the bird eye view of the Reliance open interest. One sec. Yeah. So Reliance right now future is trading at 2197, standing on the highest call, which is at 2200. And you can see in the many call writers, like at the strike of 2180, 2160, 2140, 2120, 2100, almost every strike in the many call writers has declined their position, has running out of their position and going upwards, which gives me a significance that the in the money option writers, these are the writers who are feeling very jitterness, or I can say they have this some sort of nervousness this price might go up. And that's why you can see a lot of call writing, sorry, unwinding that has happened here. So if I zoom in, so this bar you can say there's a blank over here which represent that unwinding has happened. At the highest call level there's unwinding that is happened. So I can say that in the money call writers are getting jittery and they have a fear that prices can go up. And at the same time, if you look, the put writers are giving more support at the level of 2200. There's slightly addition of the put. Then again at this levels they are slightly increase in the put side. So which gives me that they are providing a good support at the level, and option call writers are feeling slightly of nervousness, and that's why they are removing their position and shifting upwards. So it can, this is a way you can also interpret the data of looking into how a stock is going to move, whether it's already had a move or going to move up or going to go down. So this is a one way of looking into the data. So we have a question which will take, how do you interpret the situation where highest call OI is below the current price and more calls are added? Okay, so these situations come when I saw, let's take sorry, let's take an example. So we'll have a data to look into. So we'll go and sort it out with the highest call difference. So this is IRCTC. Mr. Anjan, what he is asking, will all participants will be clear with this. So I think this is the situation you are asking for. So you say that highest call at 2000, prices went to 2036, and there's no call addition which has happened here. So this is one point. So if I say the prices has gone up, okay, so the prices at 2036 and highest put as highest call at 2000. So now I want to look here. So I would be looking here not only the one strike, then I will be looking at the whole complete strikes, the complete eye view. So if I say at the higher level, you can still say that writing is happening. Writings are still happening. You can say at the level of 2100, 2020, 2060, 2040. All these are the level where still writing are happening. And the call writer, you can see the shift is going upward. So you can see the going upward. The call writer is still thinking the prices won't able to sustain, or prices won't able to further go away in the higher terms. And if you say even at the highest call, if there's a significant call writing that might have happened here, I would still say the writers are looking into in a way that prices won't sustain at the higher level, or the possibility that the prices will go up and going to fall down. So there are quite a lot of possibility that the writers are looking into. And so this is one point you should be looking. And one thing I want to highlight, that many big institutional players, what they do, they also make their hedge strategies. So even say in a particular stock, if you are looking that the prices are above the highest call level, and you say that still there's a writing going on, so just be careful. There's a chances that the institutional players or the proprietary desks, they are making any hedge position over there, so quite a possibility. And if I say in the retail terms, I would say like how do most people think is looking into that prices won't sustain. So there could be possibilities that are emerging at that particular level, but you should be looking into if there's an unwinding, where the prices are above the highest call and there's an unwinding going on, then there's a great move. That's a great stock to watch into, I would say. That's a good situation to look into that stock. So the example is Adani Ports. Okay, so we're gonna take Adani Ports. Okay, so Adani 751, the future price, and highest call at 800. It's a far level, and you can say still the immediate resistance stand at 760. Even Adani able to sustain above 750 level. There's still a 760 level where a lot of writing has happened. So you should be looking into this particular data as well. Then if this breaks, then you can say these are the minor resistance level which are standing. Still 760 stands at the resistance level, and the call writers, there's a possibility they are looking into that still the prices won't able to sustain at this price, or they have still have the possibility they are thinking that prices, sorry, the future prices won't be moving much, like it won't be having a much in terms of like from 751 to 755 78. It might go up slowly, but they are just being the more side that prices won't have the much of the upper side. So this is a point you should can analyze here. I think Mr. Anjan, I have tried to clear your doubt, but still you have something you can post here in the chat box. And from the participants, if you are getting the this particular tool, if you are getting this particular tool, so you can put in the chat box. And if you haven't got it, like the understood the concept of what we have tried doing here and how we can identify the stocks, then you can post it here. Now, so this is the terms of the highest call. In the same way, stocks can also trade nearby to their highest put, and sometimes we'll look into which are those stocks which are very near to the highest put, and whether it will go down, gonna fall below or that or not. So these are the this is a situation which we can, as we have used in the call difference, we can also use in the put difference. So if I go here, Concord, ITC, Sun TV, there's no such data which we are getting. TVS Motor. So now we have sorted out the stocks which the future price is trading to their highest put level, and we are looking whether the put writers are unwinding their positions. Like if they are unwinding their position, means they are feeling nervousness that prices might go down, go down. And if they're adding more position, then they have the more of the belief that prices will take a U-turn and price, or the prices will be there at the point. So if I say TVS Motor, that's a huge, or something else we have. Okay, let's take Bajaj Auto. So we'll try to look into. That's very far. It's very far. So, Coal India, and there's no such difference. TVS Motors, we're gonna say. So this is the TVS Motor open interest data. It is a complete bird eye view. Now, if I say the prices are coming to their highest put, the highest put stands at the level of 600. prices at currently at 605, and the upper side the resistance start at 620. So there's a possibility that stock could have a range in between here. Now if I say and I go down here, I can say at the level of 600, which is standing at the crucial level for the TVS Motor here, put writers have increased their position, means they are giving their a lot of support from the lower side. You can say below that 590, like almost every level they are trying to giving support at the lowest level, means put writers are increasing the position, giving support. And if I say on the upper hand, the on the same level of 600, call writers have unwinded their positions, means they have closed their position, and which gives me a significant idea that this is standing as my crucial support level. Call writers are removing their position. If call writers are unwinding their position, means they have the fear that prices can go up, and the next resistance stand at 620. So this is how you can look into the data and see how the option writers are doing, because in the option only the open interest, which is very important to look into, and this is the way which we can look into from the different tools. So as we have taken the triggers, that if you combine that with the open interest tool, you will have the significance idea of these stocks and their like whether they could have a movement or not. So because it's very difficult to get a stock from the out of 159 script, and still sorting it out from 160 to putting that into the 10 or to the 5, it's a good idea to do. So this was about the option triggers, which helps to figure out the stocks based on the options data, looking into how the option writers are doing at the different level, whether they are increasing their position and decreasing their position, and then looking into the open interest tool, looking into the complete bird eye view of that particular stocks gives the more conviction about that particular stock, whether how the option writers are doing at the different levels. So this was about the option triggers. So we have a question, Siddesh, from Siddesh. What is the data refresh rate for this as well as the previous feature? So in the Quantsapp, every data get refreshed in the 5 minutes. So whatever data a tool you are into, the data will get updated in every 5 minutes, except for the participant data, because participant data came at late in the evening. So that is the one particular tool. So anywhere, if you go anywhere, even the NSE side, you'll see at the EOD time. So apart from that, every single tool in the Quantsapp get updated in 5 minutes. So I hope we all are clear with the option trigger tool, and this was just a way of looking into the data driven approach of doing trading, how you can find this stock, how you can look into the option writer's position. And so Mr. Nagraj has a question. Better put last refresh date and time in all page where refresh is required. Yes. So Mr. Nagraj, on the top middle, you can see, if you can see here, you will able to see date and time when it was last refreshed. So even we go to the open interest, so you can see the date and time whether when the last time the data has got refreshed. So no need to worry about it, just a big tool. You will find everything. So now we'll move to the second tool of the day, that is trap indicator. And trap indicator, I would say, this is the Quantsapp proprietary tool. So we have tried made this tool, and this tools comes as in a like when I want to see that which are those stocks where the writers are being trapped. So in terms of call writers or the put writers, this algorithm do have their own parameters. They have just several parameters to look into, but majorly it looks into open interest, volatility, and the volume of that particular stock. How the option data are going, like looking into this data. So if I say, sorry, excuse please, excuse. So trap indicator is just catching the open and trap position of the writers. So as we discussed the parameters, they have the several, but mainly looking into the price volatility and the open interest volume. So why we are looking into this tool? So say, yes, 1 sec. Yeah. So I want to look that today which are those stocks where I want to see that where the option writers are stuck or where the option writers has been trapped. So these are all are the stocks. So if I say SBI Life, Pfizer, Nifty, Infi, IDFC, there are a lot of stocks, Dabar, LT, Torrent Power. These are the stocks where the option writers are stuck. It might be in the terms of call writers or the put writers. So if I say, say Mannapuram, Britannia, Wipro. So now basis on this algorithm provide the signals as in to buy or sell a particular script. And so if I scroll down, there are lots of stocks that comes into trap indicator. So yesterday, Mannapura, Britannia, Wipro, Power Grid, Marico, Apollo Hospital, Kolpal, Bharti Airtel, Idea, Grass. So there are lots of stocks that comes in each particular day based on the options data. And putting a disclaimer over here, this is not an advisory tool. This is an algorithm based tool. You can also read the disclaimer from here, what this particular tool do. And just a signal provider where the option writers are being trapped. Now if I say the returns that particular tool has given over the period of time, so if I say let's take the last from 12th of February, it has given ITC, Danfin, Nifty, Grasim, Idea, Sell at the price of signal price was 11.2 and today is 10.6. It's still in the trap indicator. So it means that this algorithm is still finding Idea as one of the stocks where writers are still trapped than Bharti Airtel. So you can see a good amount of return that this particular tool that provides. And there are some stocks as in like Power Grid where like small losses that has happened, but still on the watch list of this tool, meaning that still the writers are trapped in particular script. So Mr. Nagraj, as I said, the trap indicator is taking several factors, and uh, it's based on the volatility, volume, open interest. So there are lots of things that are going on the back of this particular tool algorithm, and based on that, it is giving in the signal. So if I really want to go and see in terms of only option chain, that will be still a difficult point to do here. Okay. Yes, yes, Mr. Nagraj. Only OI won't be one of the. Is not only the one single factor, but there are lots of things that they are involved here. So now, if I say I want to look, the signals that has come in the past, then what was the return the stock has like this particular tool has given. So let's say mm, Bharti Airtel. So here we'll see that in the trap indicator from almost March 8, 2020, we'll increase our time frame. We'll take Jan 1st. So from Jan 1st till now, so this is the price graph of the Bharti Airtel, time span, prices. So this is just a graph. And on the graph, you can see those lines, the green lines, red lines, white lines. And on the right side, you can see the table indicating when the signal has came. So I start from the 17th of Jan, the where the signal came, and it was till 27th of January 2020. And you can see the return of almost 3.4%. Then on 5th of February, 2%. On the March, it's gave the sell signal. That time, the return was nearly around 7%. Then again on the 12th, it ended the signal, exit date. Then 16th of March 2020, it again gave the sell signal till 25th of March, and the return was nearly 7%. Then there was a small dip that came on the May 19th to 22, where nearly a percent of loss which has shown. Apart from that, you can see that most of the time the the signals that has particular tool has given were on the good note. Losses are there and it will going to be. So that's a one particular thing. And I would say if you are looking into this particular tool trading on the base of trap indicator, which I say fabulous. And if you even you are trading, keep your stop loss at 1% or 2% uh, of the invested amount. So this is one tool which you can look. Yes, Mr. Nagraj, I'm coming into that. So on the graph side, the green is indicating the buy signal and the red is indicating the sell signal. So these are the signals. And the white line. So if I say this period, April 5th of 2020 to May 17th, there was no such signal that came. And even though price went from almost from 420 to 580, almost 160 points, that jump that has came between in the period of almost a month or just more than a month. So here this algorithm couldn't able to find that those parameters which I have told in the starting, it's based on the several parameters. So this particular tool couldn't able to find the parameter to sustain whether to give a buy signal or a sell signal. So even you say that is giving the buy signal randomly, so it's not. It's just purely looking into the options data, looking whether the option writers are trapped or not. So if I say there's no signal, that is white line, so it just giving me idea that's the writers are not being trapped, but no other factors or the signals has given the confirmation that the writers are trapped. So this is how you can read this graph and the table. So this was about the trap indicator. So again I will go through this tool. So trap indicator is a tool which gives signals on the stocks where the writers are being trapped. So if you say for a particular stock where the option writers have their open position, and so this particular tool catches that open position and gives signal based on it. And you can see stocks here. You can see the signal, that is a buy or sell, on the symbol, that is like say Kolpal. You can see the today's closing. What was the today's closing? Signal generated, like when the signal came, signal price, and the return that has been generated from this particular signal. So this is how you can read the data here. You can also search for a specific symbol if there's a lots of symbol. If you want to see particular that, you can also search, let's say Reliance. So if I say Reliance, I'll get the data for the Reliance. Then filter by, where you can filter by if you want to say only buy signal stocks or sell signals. So you can see filter date, filter by date, I mean. So if I say on let's say, sorry. So if I say on 4th of March, so you can say key in that. So Mr. Vishal has asked, does it show index also? That to depend. I think it has given Fin Nifty as well. Yeah, you can see the Fin Nifty, and that to depend if the writers are being trapped, that it's going to show. That's a like look here. That's a Nifty. We're gonna see the Nifty chart. So it does show. It all depends how the whether the option writers are being trapped or not. So this was the graph of the Nifty, where the signals has been generated from 1st of March 2020. So on the table view, you can see the details about it. When the signal came, what was the entry price signal, when the signal like showing the exit and exit price, and the return that has been generated. So you can see, scroll down. So this is how you can look into on a particular stock. And even if you want to look into a particular, say like I want to see that which are not currently not in the open position. So if I say go into the chart section, if I go to, let's say, Adani Enterprise, now I want to see like previously any signal that has came for the Adani Enterprise. So this is how I have to just go to the chart section and then selecting the particular stock. So if I say Bajaj Finserv, so now here you can see about the Bajaj Finserv back data. So this was about the trap indicator. Now we're gonna move to our next tool, that is volume analysis, and then we're gonna see in the last index contributor. I hope you all are understanding the tools as we are taking, and if you are, then you can comment in the chat box, so it will help assist me to get into the for better explanation part. So now we are into the volume analysis too. So what is volume analysis? Say, so what is volume? How the volume is created? So if I say a lots of trading as happening in a particular stock, and or maybe index, not index, sorry, in a stock, and I want to see the volume that is going on. So I say the how many times the stock has been traded. So that's how I look into the volume. So volume tells me. So if I'm looking in the future, then I say what is the volume, whether it's like how like the shares are being traded or not. So that is a particular thing the volume tells me, that how many times a stock or the shares has been traded. Now we are into this particular tool to find out which are those particular point where the volume has happened. So if I say in the period of 3 months, I say in the last 3 months, nearly from December, January, from December, Jan, Feb, March, almost 3 month period, I want to see that what is that particular point where the volume has happened. This is the place. So I'm just giving an overview, then we'll go to the deep. So this is the place which could act as the crucial level, either in terms of resistance and support. Now, what does that mean? So if we say this is the volume levels, so this we have termed as a beans. So what is beans? Beans is a cluster zone. So let's say right now Nifty is at 49.77, the future price. Highest volume is almost at the level of 15,200. Now it does not going to mean the correct level of 15,200, but it's going to mean the levels nearby to it, as in terms of 15,190, 210, 205. They could be a significance level where the highest volume has been seen. So as of now, I can say this is acting as a strong resistance level for the Nifty. We have seen from almost Feb last 1 month, Nifty is trading at the level of 15,000, even fall down to 14, below 14,600 the future price. Now this particular level stands as a strong resistance. And how do I get to know? Because this is the level where the highest volume that has been seen in the last 3 months, which says that there could be any movement which the Nifty can take. If this not able to break the resistance level, it's again going to fall. As we have seen, the Nifty tried to break the resistance level and again fall back, again try to went up, again fall down. So this is how I'm looking into the volume analysis to figure out the level, these I would say crucial level of the resistance and support. Now from the upper side, I can see this is the resistance level that is standing for the Nifty. And if you say below, so this is this particular bean level of 14,600, this level. This is the level where the highest volume has been seen, second highest volume has been seen. So this is a particular range which we are looking into as of now from the last almost 1 month. Nifty sustaining at 15,000, again falling back, going up, and again falling back. So this two particular level is acting as my like strong, I would say, resistance and the support level for the Nifty. So until it don't break it, just keep a watch here. Okay, Mr. Ranjan, can you explain the meaning of bean again? Okay. So bean levels, if I say, so when we draw a histogram chart, so this is a histogram chart. So histogram, what does it do? It takes these certain levels. So if I say, okay, say this bar is 15,200. So it's not standalone 15,200. It might also have the cluster of value levels, as in terms of it could have 15,190, 195, 15,205, 15,2010. So these are the levels, the cluster zone, which are where the highest volume has happened. So bean level is taking the cluster zone over the nearby. So the range of cluster could be of 30 points or 40 points. There's no such defined, but it could depend on the levels. So this volume is of the futures. So obviously when you are looking into the volume analysis, so the volume is going to be of futures for any particular stock or index. So it was about that how we can find the resistance and support based on the volume analysis. And we can say Nifty is still struggling at the highest level where which stands as the strong resistance for the Nifty. And from the below we can see there's a highest bean level which is increasing, which is acting as my support level from the below. Okay, so we have a question. Can you please show for a stock, say Reliance? Okay, let's take Reliance. So here's the data for the Reliance. So the white lines are indicating the future price, and the dot represent the particular day. So this particular dot represent the today's date, that is 8th of March closing. This is how the prices are. So if I say today the Reliance at level of 2196, nearly to the highest call OI level which we saw in the starting of this session, and it's standing at the bean level, but there's no significant bean level that has been generated here. But if I say, if I go down, level of 2050, level of almost 1 sec, this been of 2016, then 2050. These are the crucial point levels for the Reliance which we have seen. Even we look here, the Reliance try to overpass this level of 2050 and again fall back to the level of 1800. Then again it has to cross the multiple volume levels, the highest multiple volume levels, so which we could say as a multiple resistance as well. We can see the prices were struggling over this point, then again at this level again try to surpass this level, fall back to this level, which is the pin level of 2016. So this was the crucial level for the Reliance, and which did able to surpass. Now we'll see at the level of 2200 or maybe nearby this level if there are any increase in the volume, that if there's a significant increase in the volume, then it could be the further level which we can see like in the terms of downfall. So this is how we can look into the resistance and support level of a particular stock and index. And looking into the broader picture, it gives a significance idea of how the stock movement has happened. So Mr. Roshan, that is a difficult, little difficult part to look into. We can't really say whether it was of the buying volume or the selling signal, but we can identify this is the level where the highest volume has happened over the period of time. So this was about the 3-month period, and we increased slightly more, let's say from August. So now again, yes. So now we are looking into from August to March. Again, we can see the clear significance. If I say from August to almost October, the bin level of 11,325 was standing as the, I would say, the strong resistance for the Nifty. Nifty was trying to get out from here, this levels, this two particular bin level. So almost August, September, October, finally tried and broke this level on November. So these are the volume levels where the, like this level, bin level, where the highest volume has been seen from that period. Try to surpass that, And now again we are looking at the same level of 14,949.50 for the over the period of almost from August, September, October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, almost for the 8-month period. If I'm looking into, then I'm looking into the highest volume, like not the highest, but the significance volume, which is standing at 14,949, which again stand as my resistance level. And even if the increase in volume over this level, then this could be the next resistance and support level for the Nifty. So keep and watch how the volume are happening, which gives us significance idea for the longer period of time looking into the data. Mr. Suresh, one second, I'm just, yes. Mr. Rahul Yadav, is this future volume or option volume? This is a future volume, sir. Then Mr. Suresh has a question. Can we check how much volume increased in a day? Okay. Can we see intraday volume of any spot? Mr. Roshan, I did not get you. So, so if I want to see the volume of a particular script, so we'll go to the option chain. Yes. So this is an option chain. So the volume we can see for the uh, options here in the option chain, and on the chart. So on the chart, so if you go to the Quantsapp chart, here you can see the, so we have the future only. So you can add the volume as well. So what I have done here, I have taken the Nifty rolling future. On the below, on the downside, there's an open interest. So when you are into the chart, you can see the price and the open interest as free. But if you want to use indicators, then you have to be a pro member. And here you can see the volumes that is going on. In the same way, if I want to say Reliance, any stock, sorry. Now you can see the future volume, sorry, future volume as well. Yes, Mr. Nagraj. So Mr. Nagraj has a question. Can you put custom time frame in chart? I see the least one can see in 5 minutes. Yes. So as I told you, as of now in Quantsapp, we have only 5 minute snapshot data. So as of now, you can see the least is 5 minute data, but still we are working on it. And apart from that, you have 5 minutes, 10 minute, 15, 30, 45 minutes data, but at least you have 5 minutes. And so any plans for tick wise data? No, Mr. Nagraj. The list we have is 5 minute. Uh, so we are also working. So we are also hoping well that we'll reduce this time frame to as least as we can. Yes, you can save the templates. I'll tell you. So if I say you can lock the templates you are doing here. So yes, you can do. So this on the chart side, you can see the volume, and in the chain you can see the options volume. So volume analysis comes in a, like I would say, a best tool when looking for the longer period of time, looking into the which are those beans level, the cluster zone where the highest volume has happened. And even you go and do the analysis of this, of the volume analysis, you will get to know that how these stocks make their resistance and support level at different levels as well. Well, if we take any other stock, let's say SDFC Bank, again you can see most of the most of the time when a SDFC Bank either has had a pullback or bounced up, it from its volume level only, or the cluster zone nearby to its bean level, it has bounded from that level only. So this comes in a very practical approach, that how we can use these tools in a, when we have the, whether it's a day wise, intraday, or the longer period of time. So so I hope you have understood the volume analysis as well, and how you can precisely look into this particular tools while doing your trading or doing the data analysis, and just keep watching those levels and how the movement that stock is taking. Now we are moving to the last tool of our day, that is index contributor. And this is not the data analysis tool, but this is more of providing information of what is really happening into the Nifty and Bank Nifty, and how the constitutes of these tools, of this index, as in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty, how the like if they like if there's a 50 stocks in Nifty, then how all those stocks are contributing to it, and if there's stocks in Bank Nifty, how they are contributing to it. So if I say today, so let's say Nifty, from date we are taking today as an of 8th of March. Then we're going to talk about the script and sector later on. Then we have the price, Nifty future price, change in Nifty future price, and percentage wise change in the Nifty future. Below that we have all the 50 stocks. So if I say the stocks in the green boxes indicate they have the positive ending or they have gained today, and stock in the red indicating they have lost today. So the darker the box is, the more they have contributed negatively. So even say SDFC Bank has had a change of negative 1%, but is the most negative contributor in the Nifty. Bajaj Finserv, you can say, is fall by around 1 and 9%, 1.9%. When DEX contribution is very less, like in terms of negative contribution. So you can see that how this stock, like how the high weightage or the small weightage stocks are contributing to the index, whether they are positively contributing or they negatively contributing, if they have the big price movement, whether they are significantly affecting the Nifty or Bank Nifty or not. So this is the one way, where one tool where you can see all of those things happening. Now, now the interesting part comes. So if I say I want to look from, let's say, February 1st, the budget day, from till the time to today, how the Nifty has moved, how much points it has moved, how much percentage it has moved, which are those stocks which have gained from the particular time or lost from particular time, particularly in the Nifty. So we can see here from 1st of Feb, Reliance has contributed the most, SGFC, ICICI Bank, SBI. These are the most contributor, and below that we can see the price change in those particular stocks. Here I can say the Nifty closing change from my 1st of February, and how much it has changed, almost 9%, more than 9%. And below that we can see which are those stocks which are the highest negative contributor. Let's say index TCS contributed almost more than 40 points. Change is nearly 3.5%. Bharti Airtel almost 5%. So this is how we can see how much the Nifty has moved, and point wise or the percentage wise, along with the stock which have contributed to it. Now this is the part of the single stock, but if I want to say, let's say sector wise, I want to see from a first web which are the stock sector. So one sector might have numbers of stocks. If I say, let's say oil, so oil might have 8 to 9 stocks. Private bank have around 6 to 7 or 7, 8 stocks somewhere. NBFC. So I want to see the cumulatively how a sector has performed. So I can say from the 1st of Feb, private bank and oil is the highest contributor to the Nifty, and FMCG is the negative contributor. The FMCG whole sector I am saying. Then telecom is again the negative contributor of the Nifty. So this is the way where we can analyze if the Nifty has moved, let's say, by 9 or 10%. Then want to see which are those stocks which have contributed the most, or contributed uh, the most least in the Nifty. So we can analyze from here. In the same way, we can do for the Bank Nifty as well. That how the the Bank Nifty has moved from a particular period of time, how these stocks, how much they have contributed to it. So I hope you have cleared with the index contributor as well. And if you have any doubt, you can put it on the chat box. We're gonna take. Mr. Suresh, do we have a watch list to add a stock and monitor? Yes, do we have. So it's, but that's into the phone. I mean, into iOS and web version, iOS and Android version. So where we have the manager tool, in the manager, you can save. And here, there you can also add the strategies as well to watch a particular single leg options as well. So we are done for the today's demo tools. And if you guys still have any question, you can post it on the chat box. We can take, or if you want to connect to your advisors on the Quantsapp, you can also contact to them and ask your questions, and they will have will get into you. Yes, Mr. This session is available in the YouTube as well. So you can check on the YouTube as well, where you will find the daily webinars, daily demo session, and you can see from there. Mr. Abrar, in manager, can we get a break-even point of our strategy? Yes, you can get your break-even point. Even you can do the scenario analysis. You have a lot of other options to look into. You can analyze the your option strategies as well. Mr. Colin, is it that it gives spotlight on a particular stock? Sorry, Mr. Colin, I couldn't able to understand your question. So if you can please say in detail. So basically, index contributor is a heat map. It giving you the telling you. So if I say want to look Nifty today is up by 100 points. Now there are 50 stocks in the Nifty, and I want to figure out which are those stocks which are contributing to the Nifty, whether it's a high weightage stocks or whether it's a low weightage stocks, but they have the significant price move which are leading the Nifty today. So that's a significance where we can get into know that which are those stocks who are moving today and how much they are contributing to the Nifty or Bank Nifty. I hope I have explained you this in a good way. It's a more like a heat map also, you can say. So we're gonna round up this session, and still, if you have any question, you can contact your advisors. So thank you so much for joining us today on the demo session. And so, Mr. Nagraj, any particular person, if you are talking in the concept, you can connect to them, or you can also mail us on the support@concept.com. Support@concept.com. So if you have any query, it will be sorted out from there as well. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we do come live on a daily basis, so you can join us for the more demonstration of the other tools. Thank you. Have a great day.